Hello, my name is James Mensah, and in today's session, we're going to be talking about querying CSV files using Google Sheets. In this session, we'll be using Google Sheets, which is very similar to Excel for those that have used it. I'm going to cover a few points, pros and cons between the two, but ultimately, there's not much difference between them. Google Sheets is free, which is one of the main advantages. You don't have to have a subscription to be able to use this tool. Unlike Microsoft Excel, it's a very collaborative by design tool, so you can work with your peers on various different projects. It has a real-time chat and revision history, which is also really useful. The cons are it has limited data visualization. The formulas are less customizable, and it's also slow at loading large spreadsheets. On the other hand, you have Microsoft Excel. One of the biggest cons is that you have to pay for this. So in order to be able to follow along with this tutorial, you have to have a subscription. Some of the pros include it does have advanced functions. It's fast, and it really is superior when it comes to charting options. Let's touch on some of the cons. It can be more difficult to use, and again, if you're working with others and collaborating on projects, it can be harder. The format of the data that we're using is CSV, so it's worth touching on what is a CSV. Now, CSV is sometimes referred to as comma-separated values or a comma-delimited file. The pros of a CSV include CSVs are easy to create. CSVs can be read through almost any text editors, and if you're not familiar of what a text editor is, not to worry, we will cover that in future sessions. CSV formats are dictated by straightforward schemas. If you're unfamiliar with what a schema actually is, we'll be touching on schemas also. So bear this in mind, and we can come back to that point at a later session. Manipulating CSVs is very fast. Some of the cons include CSV files are unable to handle complex data. Again, this session will touch on data, so we can revisit this and reinforce that understanding of what that actually means. It's only good for basic data. No separation between numeric data and text data. CSV files will not load properly if there are unsupported characters included. So that's something else to bear in mind. And everything in the CSV is string, so there are no types. And if you're unfamiliar with what a type is, not to worry, we will cover that again in future sessions. So let's sign in to Google Sheets. I've just gone to google.com, and in the top right hand corner under Google Apps, if you click on the icon and scroll down, you should be able to see Sheets. If you select Sheets, you can see there are no current documents. So let's add our files. Let's upload the files we downloaded in our previous session into Google Sheets. To do this, navigate to the location where you downloaded your movies file or the movies database and open up Google Sheets. For this demo, I've got both the movies database and Google Sheets side by side. Go to the icon that looks like a folder. If you hover over this icon, it should say Open File Picker. Click on Computer or Upload and drag the files from your downloaded location straight into the Upload section. And there you go. Both files have been successfully uploaded. Let's expand our window. Here we can see a list of movies. Now let's open with Google Sheets. Let's see how many rows of data we have on this file. If we click on A2 and hold Shift and Control and the down arrow, it will bring us to the last record of the file. It looks like we have 4,804 records. Let's quickly go back up by clicking Control and the up arrow key. Let's look at the columns we have. So we've got a number of different columns ranging from budget, genre, homepage, ID, keywords, all the way up to vote count and vote average. For this session, we'll be interested in vote average. Now there's 4,800 records on this file. So searching through this file manually will take time. We can do a number of things to be able to narrow down to our specific criteria or the criteria we want. In this case, there's 4,800 rows on this Google Sheet. So going through the data will take time if we were to do this manually. Let's use a given example. If we wanted to find all of the movies that had a vote average of above 7, going through individually and finding each vote average that is greater than 7 or greater than or equal to 7 will take some time, and it's an activity I personally won't enjoy. But just by eyeballing it, we can see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you get the idea. This could take a while. I'm going to pause the session there and see how long it will take you to find out how many vote average are greater than or equal to 7. Okay then, how long did that take? And was it an easy task? Thankfully, we don't have to do this every single time we have data. There are a number of different things we can do to make our life easier. One of them is by using functions within Google Sheets. Alternatively, we can load this data into something called SQL, or Structured Query Language, which we will be discussing in our next session.